nitty-gritty of what is actually going on. And so, a big part of identifying the stage in which a woman is at is understanding their menstrual cycle, and if there's any changes to their cycle. Understanding, of course, where they are, like when their mom went through menopause is a big factor as well. Understanding, what age they're at and when they first got their period, but also their symptoms, because hormones and hormone replacement therapy is a tool for quality of life and symptom relief. Yes, there's additional benefits, but we're really trying to identify, we know that sleep is probably one of the number one things that starts to come up. Mood, dysregulation, irritability, like severe anxiety, heart palpitations, changes in body composition, brain fog, energy drops. So we always ask about, starting to understand how this is impacting, that woman's life. And oftentimes there's pieces that aren't related to hormones that are a result. So, crazy heavy periods that can happen when the period is changing will lead to more severe iron deficiencies, which can further deplete energy levels. And, a changing body composition, we often see women start to really significantly decrease their calories and protein and start exercising more. So then they feel weak and shaky and they're tired and exhausted all the time, but they're not losing weight. So there's a lot of kind of downstream things that happen that we try to accommodate for, or that are impacted because we don't understand this is happening.
I would imagine too, during that hour long visit, it's got to be so, I don't know, like so validating for the patient, because they're going through all this crap, and I'd imagine a lot of them were lost. It's got to be like an emotional toll on top of just what they're going through physically.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of the times a lot of women come out just trying so hard to convince us that the symptoms are real. And I'm like, oh, I believe you. You don't need to say that it's this serious, and I think that's often we're taught that in order for us to seek health, something has to be so intensely dysregulated to try to get support. And the whole narrative is that you don't need to wait until you're at that level. You can still need support even if you start to see patterns happening. So yeah, a lot of women feel incredibly validated. Some women who haven't heard anything around hormones almost can sometimes feel like, how can this only be hormones? How can I, like, why? And, and it's kind of like, that's why there's so much momentum, because they're like, why aren't we talking about this? This is wild. And that's why that's why we're here.
100%. I like what you said about not waiting till it's not too far gone, but really far gone. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is another important part of having these conversations, is that when these symptoms start to come on, like I'll speak openly about this. I've seen my wife go through this, and we were not ones to, forgive me, Kathy, but we weren't ones to seek help early. I would not. Like, there was some rough times, but this is another component. Like, why wait to suffer? It's along the lines of prevention over prescription. Like, we want you to address your needs earlier so that you don't become depressed, whether you're questioning whether you need to be on antidepressants. We don't want you to be so sleep deprived and exhausted that you lose yourself. So I think that's a really fair point, Emma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe this might be part of the juicy part of the conversation. Hormones 101. Like, what you hear about, I don't know, these different type of hormones. Are they bioidentical, whatever that means? Some people, you're hearing about estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, all these things. So what at a high level are the options, and what are the benefits of them?
Yes, I love this question, because sometimes it can feel so scary and overwhelming that, people can shy away